Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from Clash Daytona. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Toyota, Captiva Spine, Foundation Risk Partners, USA Triathlon. Our next guest knows this track well, Mr. Tom Davis, who led for a chunk of this race last year. How you doing, Tom?
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Bob. No, it's great to be back, and it's great to be here. You know, it's been a while since we've caught up, so it's great to come back to this venue.
Yeah, and this brings back some good memories, huh?
Oh, absolutely. You know, last year, I think the race was sort of well above my expectations. You know, front pack in the swim, it's riding strong with those boys on the bike. You know, it's a great bike course for me. I love the fast flat bikes, and then somehow found myself on the front with 10k to go on the run. It was unexpected. Like, you know, the boys had gone off fast, and I sort of just stuck to my guns.
Your plan,
my pacing, and one by one they sort of stopped or went backwards a little bit.
Well, Allison dropped out, and then people went backwards, and all of a sudden, oh, I'm leading.
Exactly, yeah. And then, it was a bit of a surreal moment, to be honest, sort of just trying to keep my mind as Gustav roared past me. There was never any doubt in my mind that I was going to go with him, to be honest. So
it's not a matter of an option when a guy goes by that fast.
No, exactly. So I watched him go, and then it was just trying to stick to my plan. I mean, unfortunately, the wheels fell off a little bit towards the end, but
nutrition thing, or
I think so. I think just the sort of it started a little bit later than we're used to. You know, it was sort of a lunchtime kickoff, and I think I just didn't quite get it right. I've got a much better plan this year. And hopefully I can hang on to the end this year. You know, same plan, and let's see what happens.
So water polo.
Yes.
Did you play through high school, through college?
Yeah, so it was a strange one, actually. So I got into it through school.
Mm-hmm.
So in the UK it's not a massive sport.
No.
So I was quite lucky that my school swim teacher actually just decided we were going to do it for a bit of fun. We entered a competition. And then I got scouted for sort of regional and sort of national level, and then from there I was playing for the GB juniors for 3 or 4 years.
Nice.
Until I went to university, did my first year at uni, and I decided I needed a new challenge.
Right. Was there Olympics potential or not really?
No. So again, in the UK, it's not a funded sport. It's not. So there was no real pathway.
Okay.
So I had great fun at junior level. But then I didn't really know where it was going to go.
Right.
And I was at Loughborough Uni, and they've got a great triathlon set up there. So I just gave it a go, and it seemed to work out. To be honest.
I think it's worked out okay.
Yeah.
The thing with water polo is when you play water polo, that's a brutal sport, right? You have to be a lot aggressive, and you have to be a great swimmer.
Yeah.
So those are good things for triathlon, especially. I bet you like it when for the mass starts.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly makes me more comfortable.
Yes.
You know, I try not to bring too much of it. I don't think I'd make many friends if I started pulling people back and getting a bit rough around the swim turns. But no, it certainly helps, and it gives me that confidence that I can handle myself if somebody decides to climb over the top of me. It's like, it's no big deal. You know, just carry on swimming, and I think I'm quite lucky in that respect, because a lot of people get nervous about the swim starts and that sort of contact, but that's never something I have to.
You don't have to worry about that.
No, exactly.
Yeah. When people are trying to pull you underwater and drown you, it's
good fun.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah.
So when you started at university with triathlon, did you have a sense that you were be good at it right away?
Myself, I didn't. I did a couple of races, and I was quite lucky in that the guys that ran those races were ex-pro Ironman athletes. Oh, okay. So he sort of took me under his wing for 3 or 4 months before I started uni, and then it sort of developed really quickly. So I did my first race. I think I did an Olympic, and I think the bike took me 2 and a bit hours. And then, but like the swim was obviously natural, coming from water polo, and I've always run quite a lot as a junior.
Yeah.
So those bits came. The bike has been a work in progress.
Right.
But it's getting to a point now where it's certainly a lot more competitive than a 2-hour 40k bike leg.
Yeah, well, and the deal is it has to be.
Exactly.
With the way the sport is evolving, it's full out. And
absolutely.
And you think that now, was there ever with their swimming background, you'd think that they would go, okay, let's get this guy into the Olympic format.
Yeah, I mean, So Loughborough is a national training centre in the UK. So it's based around ITU and Olympic success. So I was sort of training and racing that style of racing for a number of sort of 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
But I always knew that sort of the long distance was what I
better
wanted
for
to
you.
do, and what it was more, and I was more suited to that style of racing. I haven't got the sort of the sprint that the top ITU guys have got, but I can hold a pretty decent pace all day, which is why I like sort of the half and also the full distance. I'm moving more and more into the full distance as well.
Right.
So yeah, that certainly is going to suit me a lot more than sort of the ITU style. Yeah.
Got it. And so in 2019, podium finishes at Silao, Challenge Silao, and a full in China.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool because that's fairly early in the career.
No, definitely. I think that was my first year of properly giving 70.3 a go. And yeah, obviously the podium in Salute was at the start of the year, so it was the first race of the season. So that's always a nice way to kick off a year. It gives you good confidence, and I'm someone who races well off of confidence. I think a lot of athletes are. You know, you need once you know you're going well, then you tend to race differently.
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, I headed over to that full distance in China. I only found out it was a full distance race a couple of weeks before. So
wait, well, you thought it was a half?
Yes, yeah. So I signed up thinking it was a half. And then it turned out to be a full. So I had very limited.
You bring a few more gels.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, I went into that confident, but sort of, I didn't know what to expect.
Sort of what the hell.
So yeah. I mean, to get a podium, I was pretty chuffed.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I love that. And then second at Gdynia in 2020, and you're ahead of two-time Ironman world champion Patrick Laing, right?
Yeah. Again, I mean that was unexpected. That was like the first race after COVID had sort of the first set of lockdowns, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I knew I'd been training well. I was desperate to get out and race, and it was the first race that I thought this has a chance of happening.
Right.
So I went there with very little expectation. I was thinking, let's just go and have some fun. We all needed it after last year.
Yeah, we did.
And yeah, I mean, Magnus rode away on the bike as has become his trademark now. Back then that was probably one of his breakthrough races. If I say that for him. So it was a little bit unexpected, but seeing what he's done now, I don't feel quite so bad.
No, he can ride the bike.
Yeah, and then I mean, having Patrick close you down on that run is not a situation that's particularly comfortable. But no, I mean, it was, to even be in the mix with those guys, sort of confirmed to me that this style of racing is where my future is.
So when you go to Challenge Roth 2021, and what's great about Roth is it's the crowds are crazy.
Oh
right?
Yeah.
And even though it's this year and the crowds couldn't be as big, it's still a pretty cool experience. And getting 9th there, and that's an epic race. That's one of our legendary races.
Oh yeah, no, it's a bucket list race. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was slightly disappointed with that race.
Really?
Yeah, I hadn't felt good on the bike. Okay. This year has been a struggle. I won't lie. I had a crash in the first race of the year. And then I had a couple of flat tyres, and I've had a few mechanical issues, and it's just, so this year's been a bit of a roller coaster, and training's been a little bit up and down, like the head's just been a little bit, not quite sure what's going on. So Challenge Roth, I mean, I was a bit disappointed, but then looking at the running I had into it, I couldn't have really expected much more. And since then, sort of, everything has. I think that was sort of the race that's turned this season around, and the body started feeling good afterwards, and the last few months of training have gone really well.
And so you've been doing this last training block specifically for this race? Yeah,
this has been on my radar since last year.
Since last year, I mean, if you're leading it, you might as well win it.
Oh yeah, no, I wanted to come back 100%. It's a course that suits me. It's fast. It's flat. It's all about aerodynamics, which is something that I feel I'm quite good at.
Yeah.
So a lot of my training has been based around this, and I hope I can do it justice on Saturday. I've got everything in that I need to. It's just whether the body shows up on the day, as always in racing.
Exactly. And for next year, what are the plans?
I mean, come back here.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Like, you know, I'd like to do Miami because it's a very similar race. I didn't quite make it out this year.
Yeah.
So I'd love to come and do that one. And then I want to go back and get a bit better result at Roth, to be honest.
Yes.
And experience the crowds for what they can be
without all the
restrictions.
Yeah, and the full course.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's a season.
Well,
you're talking about Miami, Daytona, and
throw a couple more
Roth,
in, and we're there. So.
A couple little teaser races
Exactly.
leading in.
Yeah.
But you feel that the full is your distance at the end of the day.
I think so. I think a couple more years experience and a couple more years of training specifically for it, and I think I would like to think I'll be in the mix.
Yes.
My coach certainly thinks so.
Right.
But the other problem is I love racing a lot. I love racing. If I could race every week, I would.
Yes.
So I don't.
And your coach probably is like, no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would ever become a completely only race full distance.
Right, because you can't race enough.
Exactly. So I'm always going to have a number of 70.3s in there. It's just what I enjoy doing.
And where will you base yourself? You stay in the UK?
Yeah, so I'm still in the UK at the moment. I train on my own in the UK. I've not really got any plans to change that at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I might go and do a couple of training camps in Europe somewhere over winter. But yeah, I'm quite happy to sit on the turbo for a few hours, which is why I think a course like this suits me. You know,
no question.
I'm quite happy to tough out a winter in the UK.
Good. Hey Tom, thanks so much for taking time.
No, thanks a lot for having me, Bob.
A pleasure. Tom Davis has been our guest, everybody. We are at Clash Daytona. My name is Bob Babbitt, and really appreciate everybody tuning in for Breakfast with Bob. We'll be right back.